For everything that 2001 was in the WWE, 2002 wasn't. And in a really good way. 2002 to me was a really crucial year for the WWE because you had all these guys coming from the Invasion angle and coming from the Attitude Era. And now you had this gigantic roster of talent. You had pretty much no place to put them, and yet you found a way to put them somewhere. And this pay-per-view here, SummerSlam 2002, was really what made this year work perfectly. Especially considering that you look at 2002, all 4 of the big 4 pay-per-views were really, really good in 2002. But I think that if you look at the best show in 2002, I think it's personally SummerSlam. SummerSlam, especially when looking at the main event, pretty much established the stars that it needed to. And it had some decent matches along the way. I mean, you open up with 3 straight really good matches. Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio, with Kurt Angle winning by submission. Really doesn't do much to hurt Rey Mysterio, helps Kurt Angle a little bit. They put on a really good opening match. What else can I say about it? This show got off to a great start. And then you get to Ric Flair versus Jericho, with that match ending by submission. Maybe the only complaint about this match I would have is maybe have Jericho go over, but ultimately this match was really solid. Match was pretty good. And again, it just kept this pay-per-view going. Then you had Edge defeating Eddie Guerrero. You know, these guys had some good chemistry, and this match really worked. Thought that the right guy went over. They put on a 12-minute wrestling match. Everything worked. So, you know, you could say that the first 3 matches of the show alone is what made this show good, but that's not entirely true. The show picked up later on, but first, the Un-Americans defeating Booker T and Goldust for the Tag Team Championships. Pretty okay match. I never was a big fan of the Un-Americans because, personally, I just thought Lance Storm was really boring, and I thought that Christian was, so-so. I thought he was way better with Edge. Booker T and Goldust, that was a really fun tag team, but I think that the decision was right to have the Un-Americans win here, but that's pretty much all I'll say about that match. It was a pretty good space filler to get to the final 4 matches on the card. Excuse me one second, I lost my match card. Okay, here it is. RVD defeating Chris Benoit for the Intercontinental Championship. If Michaels Triple H wasn't on the card, and if Brock Rock wasn't on the card, this would be match of the night. This match went 16 and a half minutes of pure wrestling. RVD and Chris Benoit. 2 of the greatest wrestlers in WWE history. This match was really good. RVD wins. Great moment. Great match. Loved it. The one thing I did not like about this pay-per-view was Undertaker and Test. Test being boring, and Undertaker's character of the American Badass I just didn't like that much. The match was not good. I didn't really care for it. But again, it did work as a space filler to separate the IC title match with what proved to be the match of the night. And that was Shawn Michaels versus Triple H in this unsanctioned street fight. So many things about this match worked so perfectly. I mean, you consider the obvious one. Triple H and Shawn Michaels have really good chemistry in the ring because, hell, they're best friends, they were tag team partners, they have a lot of experience working together, so obviously they're going to go in the ring and they're going to have a really good match. That's what they did here. The storyline going into this match of, Shawn Michaels returning, reuniting DX, then all of a sudden Triple H turns on him, hits him with the pedigree. They feud for a couple weeks, and then you get to this match. The feud worked perfectly. The storytelling in the match of Shawn Michaels coming back after blow after blow after blow, and still has the wherewithal to come back and to win the match, was really good. The match itself, with all of the violence in it, with all of the blood in it, was really good. The crowd reaction during the match, especially during the entrance for Shawn Michaels, and during the entire match itself was really good. The finish to this match, you had to establish Shawn Michaels returning, was really good. Everything about this match was really good. I think that if maybe you'd give this match 5 stars, I probably would too. This was one of the best SummerSlam matches in SummerSlam history, and probably one of the most underrated matches. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it. I don't know why. If you ever go back to watching SummerSlam 02, first match you check out is this one, and the second match you check out is the match that came on next, the main event. Brock Lesnar versus The Rock for the Undisputed Championship. Well, you had the intentions going in of setting up Brock Lesnar for the future, because in theory, he was going to be the guy that led your company for the next 10 years. Sadly, that didn't necessarily fold out, but you had that vision in mind. So, of course, here, you needed to have him go over. You needed to have him go over a talent like The Rock. You know, pretty much one of the guys of the Attitude Era. You needed to have Brock go over. And this match was really, really solid and really, really good. Brock going over was the perfect move, does nothing to hurt The Rock, does everything to elevate Brock Lesnar. In fact, what it did to The Rock made him look like he can actually put people over. You know, we all knew Rock was leaving, and the best way to go out is to put somebody over on the way out, and that's what The Rock did here. This match was really good. Build up to this was really good. You know, these guys had good chemistry, the crowd was in it, a really, really good main event to SummerSlam. So, like I said, 2001 in the WWE was forgettable. The invasion angle, while in theory it sounds great, it worked out terribly. 2002, however, that was a really good year. You had to reestablish your company after the invasion angle because you had all this talent from the invasion angle. You had no place to put them, and yet every time in 2002, you found a way to utilize all of those talents. These are just some of them here at SummerSlam 2002. And SummerSlam 2002 was a really good pay-per-view. Recommend going back to watch it, because I had a great time watching it, and the main event, it did what it needed to do, and it established Brock Lesnar for the future of the WWE. It's sad to see that it didn't necessarily fold out, as Brock left the WWE 2 short years later, but at the time, you knew the WWE's direction that they were heading, and you had no other choice but to like the direction that they were going, because at the time, it was time to build a new star.